everybody, welcome back to the channel. Joe Parker here with
Avi Becker. What's up, guys?
We're taking you on another drive along tour in Santa Barbara, and today we're going to go through Montecito. Once again, like last week, we had an amazing tour with some beach houses, and today we are going to go hit up some more incredible properties. If it's your first time to the channel, welcome. We've got a great tour of homes and a great tour of our local community on tap for you. So sit back and relax. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please consider doing that. It helps us out and it keeps you informed about these videos when we put them out every week. We love doing these for you and bringing you along for these rides. And right now we're going through the east side of Santa Barbara. This is kind of like my roots right here. In fact, I spent a good part of my childhood right back there.
No way.
Yeah, and playing in this creek right here. And actually, all these homes up here on the left, these townhomes weren't even there. We used to ride our BMX bikes through a field right over here. So taking you way back to the history. And in fact, going back in history, I got a call from some friends from high school over the weekend. They were getting together. We all went to Santa Barbara High, class of 92. I got a call from my friend Sarah, who is out with Summer Eckberg, and saying that they were a huge fan of the show and that her mom, Kelly, in Humboldt is a big fan and likes to watch to reminisce about Santa Barbara. So big shout out to Kelly. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate you guys enjoying the show. And that's how we do it. You know, we love communicating with you guys through this channel, through the comments you leave and through the reach outs you do via phone or via text or via email to tell us about what you're up to and how we could support you in your Santa Barbara search, or just to give us a gratitude for putting these videos out for you because you're enjoying watching them.
We love engaging with you guys. I also wanted to give a shout to Linda Quinn, Laurel, Philip Bewley, Melanie Cleveland, and last one, I think Ginger Lourdes, who all gave us, there's another one, Jojo Mo. Yep, those were all the names that gave us 5-star reviews after we said, if you want to support the show some more, you can leave us a 5-star review on Google. That helps our business and our brand reach more people and help more great people like you guys who all subscribe and watch every week. So every week I'm going to read out all the people that give us reviews because we really appreciate that. There's a lot of other ways to help us. If you're a fan of the show or you just like tuning in, you don't have to, buy a $10 million house with us to help us out. A like, a subscribe, a review goes a really long way. And I think, Joe, you're at north of 8,300 subscribers. Ooh. We're going to have to get Joe a 10,000 cake when he hits 10K.
Yeah,
maybe
that would be amazing.
End of the year could be pretty close. We'll see.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and we do love that, that engagement, and it really does help us out, giving us the team, the Santa Barbara group at Berkshire Hathaway, that exposure on Google to help with the algorithm, so we can meet more people and help them with their search. It's really a great way for us to connect. So thank you so much for engaging with that request to leave us a review on Google. And also, another way, if you like staying in touch with Santa Barbara, we have an amazing newsletter, and a lot of you have signed up. I heard back from quite a few of you that got the last one that was talking about the highway. The next one coming out is going to be a market update.
Came out this morning.
It did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So fresh in your inbox. Go check it out. So those are great, and that's another awesome way to stay in touch with what's happening in Santa Barbara. Sign up for our newsletter. There'll be a link in the description of this video, and I definitely encourage you to use that. But so if you saw there, we cut through the east side of town, which is just below Montecito, and we're heading up to our first home here on the sort of eastern edge of Montecito in the Cold Springs school attendance area. So this is a great spot because you could get into the lower village or Santa Barbara pretty easily either way. And this first one, Avi's got some details on it. We're going to see something on this road here, Barker Pass.
Would you say Barker Pass is basically the border of Montecito and you're kind of in it, but also if you're on the side, you're not?
Sort of, but not really, because there are some properties that still go into the Cold Springs school on this side of Barker Pass, so it's not necessarily aligned, but it definitely does have some of these. At a certain point, and it might be past Sierra Vista up here, it turns into Cleveland attendance area, but it's still Barker Pass. So
you're 93108.
Yeah, it still gives you the zip code, so your address will still be Montecito, California, and you'll be in the 93108. That's a good point. It's just not the Montecito schools, which is Cold Springs or Montecito Union.
Totally. Well, we're going to go to 520 Barker Pass. which is the first time it's been on sale. It's been in one family for its entire history. We looked up the history, and there's none. So this is an artistic sanctuary nestled in tranquil hills of Montecito in the award-winning Cold Springs School District. This remarkable 5-bedroom, 4-bath modern home is a bookend with 2 private rentable double-room ADUs. 2 ADUs. So they got the ADU and the JADU probably. And is on the market for the first time ever, designed by architect to the stars Bob Easton, as a poetic testament to blurring the lines between interior space and nature. 520 Barker Pass awakens a creative imagination while remaining safe, practical, and functional. The layout flows like a river. Wow, they're really juicing this up.
Wow.
Surprising spaciousness and versatility around every bend. It flows like a river. I've never heard a house saying that.
Me neither. That definitely sounds like it's influenced by some AI.
Yeah, for sure. So 5-bed, 4-bath, built in 1979, almost a full acre. And there's 2 ADUs, so an ADU and a JADU.
All right. Well, I don't see signs. I need to look at the sheet.
I think it's lockbox.
Oh, is it lockbox?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, we're going to have to get inside there and go check it out then. I was going
Yeah.
to see if we're off on the timing, but if it's a lockbox, that makes sense. So let's go see what kind of trouble we could get into.
Let's check it out.
All right, here's the street view on this one. Great mountain views right there across Sierra Vista. This is Barker Pass, and they have a driveway here that rolls in one way and out the other way, and then it looks like a driveway over there into the garage and what looks like a ADU above the garage. Now you hear a work truck went by there, so it is a little bit of a busier road. Barker Pass, but I'm sure once you get back here, it's gonna feel like you have good buffer and privacy from it. So that's gonna be probably a unit up there. Let's go find the front door. Okay, you've got a gated front entry patio. We come up a few steps into this big vaulted living space. This must be a fireplace that we're behind. And then here to the left, a living room with a fireplace with a slider out to the deck that's going to pick up some of those mountain views. Got some tile on the floor in here. Since this one's not hosted, we're going natural lighting. So it might seem a little bit darker, but gives you a good idea of what the natural light's like in here. Okay, so nice little sitting area there. And then this is our dining area with pass through into the kitchen. And that wasn't a fireplace. I wonder what that big blue tube is for. We do have a wet bar there. Pocket door concealing the kitchen area. It's kind of a galley style kitchen, lower level roof. Got some blue kind of tinted granite. Going by a pantry to see what this is going to do here. It's going to be our back area. We'll look at that later. Okay, they got some GE monogram series refrigerator there. And 3 steps down into another little sitting area with a slider and lots of light coming in. And I think we got a hallway with some bedrooms back here. A nice bathroom with exterior access. Soaking tub, dual sinks. And they have the laundry in here as well. Nice skylights, bamboo on the floor. It's a quaint little bedroom. A little bit of a vault on the ceiling. A slider out to what appears to be this little patio area here. Looks like maybe you could meet up with the other occupant of that room in the patio. Okay, this has got vibes of a primary here on the main level. Or the level, I guess the only upper area is going to be that guest unit. Here's our closet. Looks like a window in there. Oh, wow. Well, way more space than you'd think by peeking your head in here. And then a little bit more closet space before you get to the bathroom. Kind of got that maple cabinetry. Another exterior. So you go right into the shower, maybe from the pool. And some more closet space. So no shortage of closet on this one. Built in 1979. That's pretty cool there, forward thinking. Okay, another bedroom with a closet and access to that patio. They have a slight vault in the ceiling in here as well, so they're kind of smaller bedrooms, but that extra volume gives it a sense of spaciousness. And then the garage. It's looking simple. Nothing too extraordinary about it, but nice to have an attached garage. Okay, so back down the hall, back to the living spaces, see what's on the other side of the home, and then try to track down some of these guest units. Okay, back through all of this we saw earlier. Okay, this feels like one of them. Again, nice slider. I like how all of the rooms have some great exterior access. This room here, looking out to this garden patio. And then it has a bathroom here with a glass enclosed shower. Nothing too much to see, but nice and clean. And then upstairs, what's going on up here? Narrow little staircase up to, oh, this is like a little kitchen living room area for that unit. Nice, little cooktop, sink, small fridge, a place to chill, a small little skylight, and another closet. All right, back downstairs. So this is a 2-story guest unit with this patio here. We are gonna go out and see some of the yard space. Okay, so that's just a little bit of garden area, more of that walled off area that we came through in the entrance. And then you've got some buffer yard above this retaining wall. And this is gonna reveal, I think, our pool over here. What kind of contemporary design. And then the fenced pool here. Really sunny today. We're having a cooker of a day. That's beautiful. Plenty of space on that hillside there to plant some orchard if you want some fruit-bearing trees or something. All right, and I think there was one other unit above the garage we might go try and track down here. All right, looks like they got some solar for the pool, for heating the pool up there. And then this is the secondary guest unit.
And you guys could just leave the door open and the lights on, that would be great. There's a second room in there too.
Little bathroom. Okay. Got the little barn door to store books too. It's kind of multi-purpose barn door. That's kind of cool, huh?
Like the fridge.
Yeah, retro. Okay, little room here. So gives it a 1-bedroom feel, and it's a real small space, but nice to have. And this gets some elevation to get in some of those mountain views. Nice. Okay, I think we've seen it. All right, the listing agent showed up. We were able to help her get her listing open.
What'd you think?
Well, it's gonna have to find the right buyer that really likes that contemporary style and appreciates the architecture.
Totally.
I felt that it felt a little chopped up. It could use quite a bit of upgrading for Montecito standards, I think.
Yeah.
You know, moving some of the... What I really loved, all the indoor-outdoor flow it had. Every room had a way to get outside. But even moving some of those sliders, they were pretty original. So like the windows and sliders maybe need to be addressed. And some of the multi-level, you know, the step down, the split levels and stuff, not exactly what everyone's looking for these days. So that would be, I guess, leaning into that style of architecture.
Totally. I just feel like if for 1979, it was probably very state-of-the-art and high-end, but it's just doesn't seem like it's been refurbished much since then. Mm-hmm. And having those multiple kind of ADUs that are really tight, I don't know if they were kind of pitching like, oh, you could rent these out because they're separate, or you put guests in them, but they're just not up to traditional Montecito guest house standards.
Right.
You know? They kind of feel like a little mini apartment. So, I don't know. It would just, you know, be a big project for someone, and to be paying, you know, 4.2, and being on Barker Pass is it's not a super busy road, but it's a little bit of a turnoff for some people. Yeah,
it is a way to drop into Santa Barbara. I mean, it is kind of a way for Montecito when they want to go that back way and drop into the east side where we came from, and do something maybe down at Milpas where you can find a Trader Joe's, you know, different restaurants and whatnot. That's kind of the way you would go. So you do get some traffic. I mean, it has a double yellow. I think I've had a lot of clients just like, I'm not buying on a double yellow line street.
That makes sense.
That indicates that, you know, it has more traffic, and so they're trying to do traffic control.
Yep. That's a good, I've never heard that, but that makes sense. It's like, if you want to be in a private area, if you don't want to have car noise, don't buy on a double yellow. And it was almost an acre, but it didn't feel like an acre. Yeah. That was one thing I didn't, you know.
Right. And I think because maybe it's in the middle of the lot almost, or somewhat in the middle, and you had kind of property all around, and even outside of that front motor court that we parked in, there was another driveway with a whole nother chunk of driveway on that garage side of things, and where the pool equipment was, and a way to get into that pool area. Mm-hmm. That was some of that land too, which is there, but it doesn't really, it's not like you go into some of these backyards where you got an acre and it's just kind of sprawling because the house is more perched on the front of the property, and you've captured a lot of backyard space. And then there was some of that was hilly, so I was thinking, well, maybe it's good for fruit trees or something. You know, otherwise it's just buffer between you and your neighbor.
Totally. I think that one is going to be, been on the market 89 days, and we'll definitely keep our eyes on that one. It's definitely a sale for a particular buyer who's up to the challenge to renovate it, and who doesn't mind being on a double yellow and doesn't mind the other things that have to do with the property, but could definitely look amazing once you put some money into it. Yeah,
someone that wants to get into Cold Springs and needs those extra living spaces for maybe their extended family, or some type of house share situation, I think it could really work well for them.
On to the next. We are going to be heading to 36 Seaview Drive in Santa Barbara Shores.
Montecito Shores,
Montecito Shores.
The gated community down by the beach in the Biltmore that we've taken you to many times, showed many different condos in there. And behind the gates, you got two different communities. It's the Bonnie Mead and the Montecito Shores in there.
And this one's unique because it's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, got ocean views, almost 3,000 square feet. I don't know if I've ever seen a floor plan like this in Montecito Shores. Have you? The 3-bedroom, 2.5
I have, bath? But it's been a while. Most of them we've seen lately are those single level ones, which are a lot of them are very similar to one another as far as the layouts.
2 bedrooms, and sometimes there's even 1 bedrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just saw 1 bedroom hit today.
So this one last sold for $3.3 million back in 2008 and is listed for almost $7 million, $6.850. Been on the market 23 days, and it was at one point listed with another agent, so it was pulled off and relisted. I wonder what the price difference is on that. I could double check.
$7 million.
$750. Yeah. So they've dropped it almost $1 million.
Almost $1 million.
Wow.
So it expired with the first go around, and
back in 23. So definitely sharpening the pencil there. And one thing, what are the HOA dues on this? I'm going to pull this up. So it's almost 3,000 square feet, 2.5 bath, or 2.5 bath, and 3 bed, built in 1974. Let's see if they put the dues on here. Yeah, so the dues are $2,098 monthly, So that is also higher because it's a bigger unit. I think their dues are higher than the other units.
Yeah,
They
probably.
have more exterior maintenance to hold on to, and more. When you're a bigger unit, you're going to pay a bigger chunk of the HOAs. You get insurance, trash, common area maintenance, exterior maintenance, and security. But that's definitely a heftier HOA due. But, you know, when you're spending that much money, you get the security, you get all the exterior maintenance.
Yep.
For the purchase price, it's not crazy.
And some amenities.
Yeah, for sure. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see this one with the ocean views. Going to see
It's going to be perfect
what
today.
that kind
We've
of
had
layout is.
this really dry weather, super hot. Yesterday it got up to 91. Currently, right now, my car says it's 82 degrees. So we're in a big time heat wave. And we actually have a red flag alert. There could be Santa Ana winds tonight. So everyone's keeping an eye out on that. But you can definitely see it and feel it in the air that, you know, things are happening. It's very sunny, very hot, and perfect day to look at the channel because the islands are just popping perfectly. They're so clear you can make them out really nicely, and of course silhouetted with the blue water and everything. Let's go through this. Open house.
And then after today, the temperature is going to drop back into the 70s, I think, and kind of be more normal
Oh, good.
Santa Barbara fall weather. Because
Yeah.
it's definitely hot for us.
This is intense.
Yeah. And we're recording this. It's the end of October. There's some fun Halloween stuff coming up. For those of you who aren't familiar, Ghost Village Road, that's what they do in Montecito here. It'll be on Friday, where all the kids and businesses are trick-or-treating. There's Berkshire. We have an office in Montecito, and they'll be handing out candy. I feel like, honestly, Halloween in Santa Barbara and Montecito is really fun. Compared, like, not every town is a Halloween town, but I feel like we are for sure.
Yeah, 100%. There's like a big Halloween tradition here between the different neighborhoods that are known for great trick-or-treating, Ghost Village Road that you mentioned, and then for the older kids out in Isla Vista, that's notorious for lots of parties and celebrations going on out there for the college kids.
If you're watching this and you're trick-or-treating or your kids are trick-or-treating, let us know what you're dressing up as. We'll read it in the comments.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. We'd
Yeah.
love to hear about some of these costumes, what's trending this year.
Totally. It'd be funny sometime to like host an open house on a Friday, like a Halloween, dress up, hand out candy.
Are you
make it
doing
an
any
open
kind of
house
dressing up this year?
trick-or-treat. I am dressing up.
What are you doing?
Me and my girl are dressing up as vampires. And
Oh,
having a little
nice.
get-together.
Oh, sweet. I can't wait to see pictures
I wanted
of
to
that.
be Lilo and Stitch for the record, but she gets the executive call and she didn't think that was cool enough.
Vampires is cool.
Vampires is
Yeah,
cool.
Definitely trending. So, that and zombies. All right, let's go check out
Check
this
it
one.
out.
Okay, Montecito Shores heading towards the beach. You can hear some construction going on over here to the right, which is, you know, part of living here in these older buildings. They do have a lot of updating that goes on, and when your neighbor's updating, you're gonna notice it. So, but it doesn't last forever. Looks like they're already doing some decorating at night. This will be all lit up. That's nice. Part of the association, it looks like. Wrapping the trees in lights so it feels a little festive in here. And you've seen these entries before. You got stairs and you got elevators in here. While we wait for the elevator, take a look at what's happening out there at Hammond's. Oh, come on, camera. Give us a view. There it is. Nice. Okay, so here we go. Everyone knows what an elevator's like, but here's what the staircase is like. Goes all the way up. There are some lights in here and some windows for daylight. You can see it goes all the way up. Okay, made it upstairs. The hallway leading to this unit right here. Here we go, everyone. Entering real quickly to our right, laundry. Nice, efficient. Wood floors. Some textured wallpaper like seagrass style, and then immediately here's our half bath. Keep that open. All right, everybody. Okay, this one's really spacious compared to most, as you could see here. Nice open living room to some counter space for entertaining. You've got a fireplace with some modern accents wrapped in stainless steel there. And then look it up above. You got a nice little loft up there with some recessed lighting and speakers. And plenty of space for entertaining. This kind of buffet counter brings in the shockingly amazing view, especially on a day like today. Look at how you can see all the way down the coast, past Summerlin, and on a day like today, we're gonna get past Carp, and then, let me see if I can get that clear. It's going through a screen. It's not wanting to focus. I'll go outside and do it, but that's Point Magoo down there, so very rare to see that far down the coastline. And on today, since it's so clear, you're getting it all. And then this whole bank of window seats, really nice, plus this sitting area. All this was exterior patio at one time that had been enclosed. Here's our bedroom, one of them with a Murphy bed. Look how that folds into the wall. So this is a flex room with a closet here. And again, lots of light, lots of ocean vibes, lots of waves breaking in the distance, and killer island views. Wow. So this area that I'm looking down here was patio at one point in time, all captured for interior living space. Here's a nice bathroom. Look at that. The glass enclosed shower, frosted for privacy. We've seen this room from the other direction. All right, coming back through over on the other side of the unit is the primary bedroom. Again, this was at one point in time part of the exterior patio. You're gonna get a shot of the ocean over there. You'll hear it when the construction's not going on. More of that wallpapering, more of that recessed lighting, recessed speakers, dual sinks, water closet with the bathtub, and some nice glass tile detail there in the accent. Beautiful jet tub, tons of jets. Closet built out with maple built-ins, and then another frosted glass enclosed shower there with more closet space on this side. Natural light coming in through that frosted glass in there. Okay, mounted TV. Let's go check out that loft up there.
Good to see you.
All right, as we get up here, real quick, you got storage. So that's some nice square footage addition, wine fridge, important. Store the vino and protect it. Look at this built-in workstation. And then more space, maybe for collectibles or kind of a flex room, storage. And this is looking down. Let's go find the kitchen. All right. Here's our dining area, right off the kitchen. Nice big table, so you could tell you got enough room to accommodate a few people if you want to have them over for dinner. And then more of that kind of maple cabinetry, stainless steel, so you're seeing those themes throughout. Sub-zero fridge. Here's a nice window at the sink, again looking out at eucalyptus tree, the Pacific Ocean, the Channel Islands. And then again looking out this way. See if my camera will focus better through these. So that's out to Point Magoo. Oh, it's not focusing. There it goes. Struggle. But no outdoor spaces in this unit, but plenty of views and plenty of places to go out there and enjoy the outdoors. I'm gonna go ahead and get past some of that construction to bring in the peace and tranquility of the Pacific Ocean and show you, holy cannoli, what are they doing there? Looks like they're redoing that whole sandbox area. We talked about that one time in the video. I think it used to be a pool, but they're doing something big over there. Look at the big cruise ship in town. This is out on Hammond's Meadow, where you could really take in all of the beach life of Montecito, walk in this beach, make your way to the Rosewood Miramar to my left down there where I'm pointing, and then to the right we're gonna have the Biltmore when it opens. But this is what Hammond's Meadow is looking like today. Pretty incredible. And of course, the crystal clear bluebird day doing its thing. What I was trying to show you, but I was having trouble because those windows were a little dirty and they were messing with the autofocus, is that down there you could see Point Magoo. So that's before Malibu. So that's just showing how clear we are today. Amazing. Looking back. And something going on there. And look at this. What do you think of cruise ships in Santa Barbara? Some people like it, some people don't like it. I think it's all right, but it is pretty obtrusive out there, huh? It doesn't last too long. It does shuttle a lot of people into SB, and then maybe they come back and visit again, so all good. Hopefully they spend some money on the local businesses. All right, we got one more to show you, a really special oceanfront rental coming up next. All right, everybody, we were gonna try and show you the beach house we were talking about, but it's one of those, want to keep it on the down low. They didn't want it filmed. We did preview it, and man, this single level plantation style home was truly stunning. It would have been remarkable on the video. It would have shown really well, but honestly, at $58,000, it feels like a reach. So
very basic kitchen and like not updated except for the 2 bathrooms are really nicely done, but you're like, why? I wonder why they stopped at only 2 bathrooms,
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And it looked partially lived in. Like there
True.
was definitely someone staying there, and it wasn't really like $58,000 a month looking.
Totally.
So I don't know what the story is with it, but you can check it out online. What's it on Fernald Point? What's the address there again?
Yeah.
It's like, there's probably some details if you are curious and see what we're talking about. The thing that was amazing about it is it had this backyard with a sprawling, huge lawn that felt like it was maybe, I don't know, 75 yards.
It's huge.
Huge. And a couple of massive trees, like the biggest magnolia tree I've ever seen. A little plot of those palm trees with the really thin trunks, looked like the South Pacific, with a cabana area out. And you're almost at the top of the point there. So just a truly stunning setting.
Epic location. That's 1695 Fernald Point if you want to check it out. It's probably listed on Zillow and the other rental platforms.
But we are going to move on to a different one. And while we make our way over there to see this one, we've been discussing some of the things going on around town. We did a podcast recently that we're going to be doing regularly in the about Santa Barbara, but we're doing it kind of as an anchor into the Support Santa Barbara Biz Facebook group we started a few years ago to help local businesses during the pandemic, give them another platform to advertise what they're doing and how they were pivoting, and it continues to grow today and be a great resource for people. And now we're doing a podcast where we talk about real estate, of course, in our business, but then we're talking about the businesses in that group and things going around the community. And one of the things we hit on was State Street, and I think we were both in agreement that it feels like maybe State Street should be opened back up to cars. If you don't know the backstory, Avi, you want to fill them in on?
Yeah. So basically, after COVID, it was like March or April probably of 2020, they shut down all of State Street to cars. They wanted to let the businesses have outdoor dining. They wanted to make sure that they could still kind of operate. And by doing that, the businesses took over the sidewalks, which are quite extended on State Street. And obviously then, so the people went to the street. And now the businesses have there's a couple businesses that still have parklets out, and it's more during, like, in the main areas where there's like Joe's Cafe and there's those groups of restaurants that have the parklets, but most of them have retracted back to their normal size. And a lot of it seems like the consensus, because to me, I was like, I kind of like having the street open, but the truth is I do walk on the sidewalk a lot, thinking about it. And the consensus for the businesses and the overall, day-to-day person in Santa Barbara is, I feel like most people are saying we should bring back 2 lanes of traffic. It would help the businesses, it would help the flow, the vibe of State Street. And so it'll be interesting to see what changes.
Yeah, there's people in both camps. I recently just read an article in the News Hawk about how the editorial was like, keep it open, keep it open, and here's why. And they had some reasons why. And, I look at places like San Luis Obispo that have a similar vibe to their downtown, and they never closed it. And from what I've read, their downtown has stayed more vibrant. The amount of commerce and activity hasn't tailed off like Santa Barbara. And it could be other factors that have contributed to Santa Barbara State Street kind of being on a decline. But it's definitely noteworthy that they were successful. And some of places, like I think in Ventura, even they've opened up again their main street. So it was a trend to close them down for COVID to bring people out, create more of a promenade. But I think, my personal feeling is that it was a great thing to do during that time. It had the potential to really make a difference. It looks like it maybe hasn't. And so maybe it is time to go back. And, I think that it turns State Street driving into kind of a social experience. I remember when I was back when it was open and you had some time to kill, it was nice just to drive down State Street, get the red lights, be able to sit there, people watch, see what's happening in the stores and stuff. And that may prompt you to come back and visit something, or like, oh, I haven't been there yet. Or maybe you're dropping someone off to do some business. So maybe all these little things add up to bigger commerce in the long run if you do open it back up. But I know the city spent a ton of money on consultants and ideas, which they've tried implementing and don't seem to really go anywhere. Sometimes it feels like it's a waste of money. I know they just jumped to a new consultant, and I don't know if the only thing they got out of the last one they hired was to do those little boardwalks down by Joe's, the block you were talking about, where they took the parklets off the street and put it on the sidewalk, and then instead of walking on the sidewalk, you now walk on a little promenade that is, I don't know, it feels a little clunky to me. Yeah,
it's very temporary feeling,
and that probably cost a bunch of money.
I think so. I think it cost like $150K.
But the city might now be collecting extra rent from those businesses for having their sidewalk being used for seating.
I never thought about that.
So maybe it is maybe it's generating some more income. But even that was part of the subject and part of the argument of, is it fair? Because it allowed a lot of these businesses and restaurants to expand their seating without paying more rent, which then drew potential customers from the other restaurants in town. Like if Arigato was just jam-packed and you didn't want to wait, you would go somewhere else. But now that they have a lot of extra seating out on the street and everything, they're capturing more of that business that would have bounced off to another place because maybe it was too busy. And so those other places, I think, felt the pinch and kind of raised their hand like, hey, this doesn't seem fair.
Yep, that's a great point. I never thought about the fact that, at some point it was obviously a survival mechanism when businesses couldn't even serve indoors, but then at some point it was like, how do you dictate who gets the big space? Yeah, like Arigato is a massive space.
Yeah, massive space, and they're just like, they probably doubled their seating capacity, and so there was a lot of people that wanted to go there, but they would just go somewhere else because it's just too busy and they didn't want to wait. So that would be all interesting. So we made our way during that little conversation about State Street. We'd love to hear your opinion on it. This is a hot one, so let's light up the comments with your opinion on what should we do with State Street. Keep it open. That was it. Should we shut it down like it is, or keep it shut down, or open it up is what I'm trying to say. But this one, we made our way over by Westmont College to this little kind of Montecito entry-level neighborhood, I would call it, where you could get into a home for under $3 million.
Yeah.
And we're going to see one under $3 million right now.
3-bed, 2-bath, priced at 2.3, and it only sold in 2024 for 2.1. So it recently sold. It's trading again. They put another $200K on top. We'll be interested to see if that is, shown by the market. I feel like Montecito, out of all the marketplaces, have seen the most resilience, where a lot of other markets, even the micro markets, have seen a little bit more of a decline. But I wonder what the scoop is. I wonder why they're selling so quick. But honestly, if you're looking for a single family home in Montecito, this is the lowest, priced, most affordable option at 2.3. So
get you into Cold Spring School District. Your kids could go to one of the best schools around.
let's check it out.
Here we go. Just a nice, simple California cottage, ranch cottage home. Single level, looks like. Got the shutters, attached garage, 720 Circle Drive. Nice, tidy landscape out front. Some brick pavers to usher you down to the front yard area. Okay, here we go. Look at this. Original oak, kind of the thinner planked original oak from the 50s. Love that. And immediately to the right here, you got your dining area. Dual pane windows. And a nice bright living room with a brick fireplace. Some windows looking out to your yard. Looks like a good amount of yard space. On a day like today, you love seeing AC. It's got the air conditioning in there, some recessed lighting, some solar tubes, some speakers in the wall. So definitely done some nice upgrades on this home. And then our kitchen. Got the tile. Looking out the window, you can check out your neighbors in the mountains up there. It looks really nice. Watch the neighbors walk the dogs. Probably a lot of dogs in this neighborhood. So you know when to grab your dog and go get in the mix so you could join them for the walk. Okay, here we go. Nice big garage. Some exposed rafters up there. It looks like some extra storage beyond just having your car in there. So, cute little kitchen. Let's go find the bedrooms. Down the hall here, looks like our right, we got our first little bedroom. Cozy. Mirror, wardrobe there on the... Across the hall here, you got a bathroom. Nice. 50s tile still, holding true. Backing it up, looks like maybe some storage, maybe some of the furnace in the closet there as well in the hall. This is going to be the primary. So this is more original tile in this little shower. Got some light coming in from all those windows. And one more little bedroom here. Let's go check out the backyards. All right, covered patio out here. Kind of irregular shaped yard, so you get a little extra bump out. Got oak tree from the neighbor hanging over to provide a little shade. Some peaks of the mountains up there. A nice little spot. And then another little brick patio over here on this section of the yard. And check out those beautiful roses. Okay, everyone, there's an entry level. That's how you get into Montecito. Okay, what was that, 2.3 million?
That one was right at, I believe it was 2295.
All right, so that's what it looks like. Kind of, I'd say that's a nice, clean entry level. Real modest in size. Reminds me of a home maybe over in San Roque or
Mesa.
the Mesa. right? And honestly, they're going to be probably a similar price. I mean, if that home was over in San Roque, what do you think?
Maybe a little bit less in San Roque, like 2.1, and if it was on the West Mesa, maybe like 2.1 or 2.2. But if it's in a prime East Mesa location, I'd say 2.3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Mesa, we were talking about that earlier today too, because there is some chatter at our sales meeting. One thing at Berkshire Hathaway, we have a sales meeting every Tuesday where we're talking about the market, talking about our new listings, talking about what our buyers are looking for. That's where we're sharing all this off-market information. We have a database at Berkshire Hathaway of off-markets, and so a lot of that information is shared at these meetings. And one of the big topics of this last meeting was the city and the Coastal Commission have been in negotiations with regards to short-term rentals. And so kind of a little quick back history is that the city banned short-term rentals. The Coastal Commission sued, saying that in the coastal zone, which is usually about a mile off the coast, it's kind of like from cliff down,
Yep.
Is that right? Over on the Mesa, would be in the coastal zone. They said you gotta be providing affordable housing options for people to come and visit the coast, and so they wanted the city to carve out the coastal zone, which they did, and that allowed for vacation rentals on the Mesa, short-term rentals, and that has been a kind of a driver, I think, for some of the values there, because some investors have been picking those up and using them as short-term rentals, using them for themselves, and then when they're not using them, they short-term rent them and generate income. And so that has, I think, helped bump up the values and the demand for the Mesa. But now there's talk that that's going to go away, that they're going to come up with an agreement to say, hey, no more. So there's a little chatter, like if you sell something on the Mesa, make sure you're not promising that they'll be able to short-term rent it, because maybe they won't, So that's something that is kind of interesting. What do you think, Avi? Have you heard about that?
I feel like it's always a discussion, not just here, it's a discussion in even very high desirable tourist areas like Hawaii, where every year it's a constant battle for the locals who want more affordable housing versus the property owners who want to be able to come to their property but also pay for the the mortgage or the expenses by Airbnb-ing it. It's a pretty constant battle. So I don't know, I feel like there's been talk about it for more years, and it is right now kind of forefront again, but I think it's been talked about for a long time. And I think it would take a lot for them to completely ban them throughout the whole city, I think, but it's definitely possible.
I think what they would do is then just, and maybe this is just for the Mesa, other coastal areas like down by East Beach would still remain. And of course, the areas with hotel or commercial zoning, you could have a path forward to get a short-term rental license in those areas, but it wouldn't just be like the whole community of the Mesa.
Yeah.
What do you think it's going to do if it happens to inventory and values? Will there be a surge of people who had vacation rentals selling their properties, and will that hurt values, or they'll just be absorbed and people will just pivot to more long-term rentals? Because then you could still do 30 days or more.
Yeah.
And you're not a short-term rental,
Totally.
but you could still operate kind of as a short-term rental, but just not as much turnover, maybe more vacancy, but that could actually work good too.
Yeah, I think that there would definitely be a slight pop in inventory, because there's going to be some people who look at their monthly payments and are going to say, I'm not going to be able to either cover this, or it doesn't have the utility that I want, because I want to be able to use it on Thanksgiving, or use it on the holiday months, or use it when it's not booked out. And if you're renting it out 30 days or long term. But I'd say the majority of people would probably try to hold it at first. I don't think people would panic sell, the majority of them, because just so valuable to have a home in the Mesa and the coastal zone. But definitely good things to consider. And what they could even do is stop issuing new permits and just be like, okay, if you had a permit, you're all right, but we're not going to issue any new ones. That I can see definitely happening too. Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, let us know what you think if you have an opinion on that topic. And again, double check, make sure you're subscribed. We love it when we see we're getting more subscribers. It helps us out and it keeps you informed when we're putting out these videos. And as always, we love hearing from you. We're engaging with you constantly. We're getting reach outs, maybe, 5 or 10 a week, with people not only just saying thanks for doing the videos, but talking about their needs and helping them get into homes. Just helped a family get into a home last week from the channel. So always great hearing from you guys and communicating with you in the comments. So definitely keep it up and let us know about some of this dialogue. State Street, short-term rentals, these houses. Your opinions are valued. We love reading about them, huh?
Totally. And yeah, definitely give the podcast a listen if you want a more deep dive. We have some restaurant recommendations. We're going to try to do the podcast. I think a good cadence would be at least twice a month, but we're definitely going to at least get a new one in a month. We'll get November loading up. There's a couple cool new restaurants that have popped up that we're talking about. We want to give you the full inside scoop of Santa Barbara, whether you're a longtime local or you're just coming here for a weekend. The podcast has a lot of Santa Barbara info that is very relevant and more beyond real estate. But we really appreciate the 5-star review, guys. Every time you post a review, we're going to give you a shout out in the next video. That means a lot to us. I know it takes a little bit of time to do that on Google, but we love connecting with you. We love helping anyone. Whatever type of real estate questions you have, all of our contacts in the description. And great drive along. Cool to see houses that are kind of at a different, echelon than the last week, which we went to the ultra high end.
Yep. And
yeah, I would love to see. I'm excited to see what people think in the comments.
Definitely. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. Make it a great one. See you next week.
Peace.
Peace.